Apparently there's more plastic in your nutsack than your nutsack. I mean, that's what the news seems like these days. All these research papers coming out is like plastic is just fucking accumulating in your body like no freaking tomorrow. And I don't know what is freaking attracting all this plastic in us, or maybe the shit that we are eating, most likely the shit that we are eating. But I was thinking, maybe could there be some side effects to having all this plastics in our nutsacks or in our bodies or brains? Could it be something that's changing our biochemistry at a molecular level where it's affecting us neurologically? And what I mean by that in a more easy way is like, could it be that plastic is somehow, altering us to isolate ourselves, like, making us retarded, I guess? And apparently the freaking what do you call it, the loneliness epidemic, or it's now switching more over to incel freaking epidemic, is a huge thing apparently. Wow, more freaking people into the army, I guess. Our army is growing, the incel thingy. But yeah, that's something that's going on, and I'll speak more about that and a couple more things. But today is February 22. It's Sunday. It's almost 1:40 p.m. It's Ramadan, and I have to remember that I should not swear. And yeah, hopefully my retarded brain remembers that. But yeah, it's been pretty great so far. The Ramadan has been going good. Fasting is good for your body, autophagy and all that, you know what I mean? Clearing up all those bad cells, you know what I mean? But I don't know if they would get affected by this or not. However, going back to the loneliness thingy and the incel thingy, apparently Looksmaxxing is something that's working. So, it's helping people out. That's good. That's good. But it made me think about one thing. If Looksmaxxing is making you look good, is it making you look good on the camera in pictures? Or is it making you look good actually in real life? I mean, you could have two of your freaking bones shaped pretty sharply and the rest of your freaking body looks like a fucking garbage bag or looks like a freaking sea turtle, You look like a half-drunk skunk with actual smell and with a Johnny Bravo face, or with a Chad, or no, not a Chad, with a Chad face, with a Chad, or alpha phase, I don't know what you want to call it. Would it make a difference, I mean, it definitely would on Instagram, on social media, all of those things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that, those things will work. Those things will work. But then again, isn't that what's fueling the incel and the loneliness epidemic all over again? I mean, think about it. People will want to look good at... Give me a second. I had the cleaner guy pop in, but he didn't. I just told them, give me some time. Anyways, we were going back to the loneliness thingy. Yeah. Is it possible that people looking good, people wanting to look good and do all of that, could they just be fueling the freaking incel thingy all over again? And instead of actually looking good in real life, they would be just posing and doing pictures and doing all of that more on the social media. And then it's just like, what's the purpose of Looksmaxxing? Is it attention grabbing, or is it finding, someone to breed with or start a family with, And what if these young guys are just getting freaking somehow like manipulated into thinking, or like somehow, you know, they're just walking and almost like a, what do you call it, like a herd mentality for these looksmaxers is attention grabbing, and you know, and what if they are just freaking mixing up all these things? Who knows? But seems like there is definitely some sort of a confusion going on between getting actually what you want versus what you actually get. Yeah, you end up perhaps becoming more addicted to the social media aspect of this, or the attention or the likes or the followers, instead of actually, you know, finding a mate, you know, or finding the freaking yo-yo. But yeah, let me check up. I had a couple more things I wanted to touch up on. Photon observation. You know, the freaking photons going through these different holes, man, once you have an observer there. I don't know if you guys know about the photon experiment. Let me quickly read this up so you guys get an idea of it. Photon experiment. The double-slit experiment is a foundational quantum physics experiment showing that light exhibits both wave and particle characteristics. When photons are fired at a screen with two slits, they form an interference pattern, suggesting that they pass through both slits as waves. However, detecting which slit a photon passes through collapses this behavior, forcing it to act as a particle and destroying the pattern. So it says like when you're passing photons, aka light, through two slits, they act like a wave, you know, they'll act like a laser when you're not observing them. When you're not observing them, they act like a freaking laser, as if it's like water and this laser hits the wall and divides into two and going through those two slits. But as soon as you start watching them, they start behaving more like a, not like a laser, not like a wave, but more like an individual piece of light passing through one freaking hole at a time, if I remember. And it's destroying the pattern, and no one is able to figure out like why is it happening? Why is it that this is happening when you observe, and when you don't observe this thing, you know, fascinating. Even I couldn't answer that. It's mind-boggling in a way. Maybe someone has answers for this out there. But yeah, this was something that kept me thinking, is it possible that maybe us watching somehow is affecting the quantum physics? But if that is possible, it literally means whatever we see or we envision actually becomes a reality, or it affects reality at a freaking quantum physics level. Or could it be that us watching has some sort of a, I don't know, a reality altering thingy going on, like a magnetic effect at a molecular level where it disrupts the pattern just by us looking, which is, you know, which is mind-boggling. Think about, like, could we be affecting the wave pattern because a photon is passing through, and maybe us watching, the sight that we have, whatever we are reflecting through our retinas, whatever the light is coming, maybe there's some going out as well, and it's affecting that wave pattern, and thus that's why it's disrupting the wave from the photons and making it more like a particle. I don't know. I'm just thinking stupid. And Probably it's all of it. All of it is BS. But yeah. There's also this thing that I heard, because our ancestors did these things a certain way, we should do them as well, and in that exact same way. And it's like, this is a very generalized thing a lot of people say, and it's stupid. It's not good for all the circumstances. It's not good for all the circumstances. These things, or these behavior patterns, or these traditional thingies, habits, whatever you want to call them, are good, but it also depends on your current circumstance, the environment that you're in, or the people that you're around. It would not be a good idea to do things as your ancestors when it doesn't benefit you. And I mean, doesn't benefit under any or all circumstances. It might look stupid, and besides looking stupid, it might affect your image, it might affect your behavior, or your not personality, but like how people perceive you, your general image, what do you call it, like reputation, in a certain way. It might make you look stupid or freaking crazy to begin with, you know. There's a balance, you know. Maybe when you're with your traditional people, when you're with your cultural people, when you're around your people, you could do those things, and then you'll be appreciated for those things. You'll be praised for those things. However, that won't work when you're with those non-traditional people. And over here, I'm not saying you should lose your self-respect now. There's a difference there. That's what I said. Certain behaviors are just not accepted. They are not to be negotiated with, right? I mean, I really can't explain it any other way, but if your tradition or your culture starts to interfere with your respect or self-respect, but also keeping in mind that your morals and values are also very, very valuable, and there's a fine freaking balance between all these things. You could be doing one too much and look like a crazy person. That's all I'm saying. And I've seen that. Dude, what is with these freaking Facebook posts? I swear to God, I saw a post. It said, like, it had different colored hearts. It said, when did you have your first child? And the red heart said like 18 to 20. The blue heart said like 13 to 18. I was like, what the fuck? And then the third heart was like 30 to, so I don't know, 40. And then the fourth heart was like 40 to 60. I was like, what the fuck? Oh shit, I'm not supposed to freaking curse, but what is going on? And people were actually commenting down there. Like, I opened the comments, I'm like, somebody actually used the blue heart. And also the last heart, whichever color was that, purple or something, you know, barely pumping any oxygen in that blood. Poor freaking baby, bro. God damn, bro, that baby had low oxygen level, I guess, you know. It's crazy to see people actually sharing it, like, you know, as if it's odd. Like, there's no, what do you call it, there's no blinders in people's windows these days, if you see that. There's no freaking blinders. Everyone's just freaking out in their undergarments, right out their freaking windows. The other day, I even saw a guy, he had this huge freaking light outside his balcony, and he was sitting there, and apparently it looked like he was live streaming somehow. And He was just sitting there live streaming, and this guy was on the 6th or the 7th floor. I was looking from afar. I was like, what the hell? Midnight, this guy's in the balcony with a freaking huge, circular light, the ones that those TikTok squirrels use, And it's like, what is he doing? And he was just sitting down playing cards. It looked like cards to me. Apparently, maybe he was playing cards with himself. So, it was a bit odd. Facebook seems like a freaking crazy place. And TikTok is just like, I saw a video on TikTok. It said like, single people, put your freaking images down here and find your girlfriend and stuff. I was like, what? And there were freaking dudes putting their pictures there, as well as women. I was like, what is going on? What's the motive here? Are you looking for a girlfriend, or are you looking for a girlfriend? Like, both of those genders are posting. There's like 40 of these bald dudes, huge freaking chunky McDonald looking dudes, and the rest of these other women, there's just like a mix of all these, middle-aged people, like around 30 to freaking 50, even 55. I even saw a 55 bald guy with a freaking half white stash and a half grayish stash. I was like, God damn, bro. It's a freaking freak show under these comments, and people are actually replying and posting. And I wonder, imagine if all these are freaking scammers and they're just having a laugh around them. They're just having fun and laughing. They're just posting random people's pictures while not even being the real person. Imagine that one person who is just like, let me take a freaking selfie and just post in the comments. And there were actual people doing that with their freaking poodles. Out of all those things, I don't know what it is, man. No disrespect to any of these men out there, but men having these small dogs is just so freaking gay, bro. This is such a gay sign. This is like a gay flag. Why do you have a small freaking dog when you're a man? You know what I mean? It just looks so out of place, bro. It just looks so out of place. If you see that with a woman, you're like, okay, you get it, freaking crazy. They have these dogs literally like their babies, and it's just weird for me. I mean, I could understand that, but with dogs and the care that they give them, like they have them in their freaking purses, the freaking thing gets a bottle of freaking milk, she changes the freaking dog's diapers. The dog gets a freaking facial treatment, gets a freaking spa day. And I'm like, even gets its own freaking Gucci jacket. And yeah, they do have a perfume for the freaking dog as well. So it's like, maybe that's a little too much, Maybe that's a little too much. What's next? You want to freaking teach them English, start speaking human? I mean, if they could, they already would have done that. Thank God, I did see one dog freaking speaking English. Like, that girl was almost communicating with those freaking buttons, bro. That dog was pushing buttons and speaking to the woman. Very freaking creepy. Very freaking creepy. Let me tell you that. That is scary. Yeah, and you could freaking hear the goddamn monkeys are back. The freaking baboons have been released. They escaped. We need to fucking exile them into the desert, bro. Freaking chain them in the desert and then bang their head on the freaking sand. Let them eat some of that thorny freaking bushes like the camels. I don't know, these guys piss me off, bro. This shit is 24 freaking 7. 24 freaking 7. And the freaking hallway smells like a, you know, if I could describe that smell, I've already tried to describe it, but it feels like they keep coconuts between their butt cheeks until the freaking coconut just fucking rots and the oil starts leaking from their ass. And that's what the smell I could describe. This is like a fermented ass coconut oil smell. It's absolutely hurt. Like, it's like I stepped into freaking Chernobyl, bro. Like, I can't breathe outside sometimes. It's, oh. And we don't know who does it. Like, somebody freaking comes in here, freaking sprinkles some of that unholy freaking demon coconut ass oil, bro. And the guy, the janitor, he's such a freaking dumbass. He's like one of those people, you know, you find at the farm and you get them to do a MRI or like a X-ray for their freaking brains. And when the results come in, it's like they have a thin freaking cracker layer of actual brain, and the rest of it is just a freaking basketball size of plastics. And that freaking thin cracker is like black, you know, it's freaking, it's just surviving. It's just surviving. It's freaking, it's burnt out, you know. Overuse. Oh, I can't, bro. These freaking guys just they start frying my brain. It's like, and you know what? Freaking things go bad. You know, what can I do? Whenever the freaking bad times appear, it's like they line up like the freaking human centipede, and they're right, like they're aiming at your freaking ass, and they're like, let's go. And you know, that's it. Once one bad shit happens, be prepared. There's like a turd that's gonna go back in, full throttle up your ass, and it's a long one. So you'll get freaking problems lined up, and it's like a freaking domino effect. And the freaking ass turd, the freaking turd starts climbing up your ass, bro. It's like one thing after the other, one thing after the other. And you're just there like, you know, let it end, let it end. That's how it feels like. I'm partially pissed. I want to curse. I probably did curse. So I might need to do another fasting after the fasting ends. That's it.